Hello, everybody. Today I'm here with the Disney Heroes Battle Mode Update 3.6, and I am in someone else's house right now, so there might be some background music. I apologize for that. But today we have gotten Anna from Frozen and Flik from A Bug's Life, which is a complete surprise, and it's really cool to see. So let's take a closer look first at Anna. And we've already seen her a little bit, but the design for her, I think, went pretty good. Maybe not her most iconic look, but she looks pretty good. And I think they're trying to go for like a Frozen 2 look, so it would make sense. But yeah, people have been waiting a very long time to get her, so it was only a matter of time before we did. And I guess I just don't have a lot to say because we already knew she was coming, so there's not like a big deal about it. But yeah, her design is really good, probably a lot better than I could have done myself, so I'm kind of happy I never actually created her. But she's going to be a control hero on the blue team and will be available in the prize wall. So she's replacing Sisu. She'll be available next week. Let's go through the skills. First up is Earth Giants. Anna taunts an Earth Giant and dashes through the enemy team, distracting them for a few seconds. Anna gains a dodge chance for a few seconds. The Stone Golem throws a boulder, hitting all enemies and dealing normal damage. Distracted enemies take extra true damage, are stunned, and have their movement and attack speed slowed. I'm genuinely surprised that there's a golem in her moveset. I would not have expected that. Alright, the Believe in You. When Anna or her allies drop below a % HP, Anna encourages the team, healing them to a max of their max HP. This also grants them extra armor and reality for the rest of the wave. Encourage allies gain immunity to scares for the rest of the wave. Anna can encourage her allies up to a certain amount of times per wave. I feel like I expected Anna to be a support character, and now that she's control, I guess a move like this is more in that kind of support range, but I was completely expecting it to be support, so it is interesting that they didn't give that to her. Next up is the Ice Sword. Anna pulls out a frozen sword, flailing it around at nearby enemies. Enemies hit are frozen and take fantastic damage. If enemies are already frozen, their freeze duration is extended. And I think that's a reference to the first movie, actually, so a little from both, I suppose. Then Set Things Right. If Earth Giants hits a frozen enemy, the enemy is shattered. Shattered enemies take a % of their max HP as true damage each time they are dealt fantastic damage from an enemy, which sounds like a pretty great move. And then finally, the Bridging the Gap. Anna and her allies deal extra true damage to frozen enemies with skills and basic attacks. Anna reduces the cooldown of Ice Sword by a certain amount of seconds for each enemy frozen during its use. For a few seconds after Anna uses Believes in You, her basic attack frees enemies. Her friendships are going to be with the Manticore and Kristoff and Sven. The Manticore, they're both very upbeat. I don't know what they're going to talk about, but Kristoff and Sven is a pretty obvious one. I think people are probably going to be disappointed she doesn't have a friendship with with Elsa. But we've seen quite a bit of that, so I guess I just thought it would be better to do Kristoff. So next up, the surprise, Flik, who is looking genuinely really good. I could not have done a concept better than this, and surprise characters are always really fun to get, and I really am surprised that they chose A Bug's Life for like a new Pixar series, but I mean, it is one of the most classic ones. I'm curious if they would ever add any more from the series, because there are some other characters in it. Flik is obviously the most understandable one, but it's certainly not very popular. I don't know if that many people wanted to see it necessarily, but it is cool to get him. And he's actually going to be the next Challenger season reward, which we have not gotten for a very, very long time. So it is cool to at least be getting a new one now. I, funny enough, got kicked out of my arena slot, but I'm just about to get back into the Challenger, so it's pretty perfect timing, all things considered. And he's going to be a support character, and the new Coliseum Challenger is resetting on January 26th. So I know, like, maybe they should have waited to reveal this, but we also might not get another patch notes until then, so I guess it makes sense to reveal it now. But I guess get ready, because on January 26th it will switch over, and then you'll start getting rewards for Flik. So let's go through his skills. First up is the Bird Dive Bomb. Flik sends a flaming bird towards the enemy with the most HP, scaring all enemies. The initial target takes fantastic damage, then that target and all nearby enemies take additional fantastic damage over a certain amount of seconds. I just realized this. Flik is an ant. Is he going to be tiny? Because I typically like to make them accurate to where they would be. If he's tiny, he's going to be like unseeable on the battlefield. But if they make him human size, it's going to look really weird. Especially because we know for a fact that in the Toy Story world, they are much smaller than the toys. So, but I guess the toys are the same size as humans, so I guess they can do whatever they want. I think it would probably be better to make him human size, just so we can actually see him. Overseeing production, Flik uses his grass telescope to study the two closest enemies. During this time, those enemies also have their armor reduced by %. Ant encouragement, Flik encourages his team, removing all slows and applying stacks of hardy to himself and all allies. Everyone affected also gains a shield. Slows include snares as well as reductions in movement and attack speed. Inventive ant. Flik is immune to slows. Allies affected by ant encouragement gain armor and immunity to slows. Slows include snares as well as reductions in movement and attack speed. Finally, ready to harvest. Ant encouragement now heals targets for a % of their max HP. When Flik uses overseeing production, he now targets all enemies and grants himself and allies armor for the rest of the wave, up to a max. When an enemy slowed is removed or prevented by Flik, all allies gain attack speed. Allies can only gain attack speed this way once every certain amount of time. His friendships are going to be with Gadget and Bolt, both animals that kind of have relatable stories. Again, if he's super small, I guess him and Gadget can relate in that way. And then Bolt is just like, also, actually I don't really know. But I'm curious to see what they were talking about, I suppose. Finally, the new hero locations and content adjustments. Anna and the prize wall, January 13th. Flik on January 26th is going to the Arena and Coliseum Challenger rewards. This is a full app update and server update that is currently planned for Tuesday, January 11th. I would imagine that we're going to get some more data mines on Tuesday. We currently don't know any as far as I am aware of. I know some characters are rumored to be data mined, but I'm almost confident they are fake. I could be proven wrong, but even so, I would put money on it probably that we will get some new characters data mined. So look forward to that. I don't really have anything else to say other than what I've said. It's always cool to get a surprise character, and Anna has been a long-awaited one, so it's a pretty exciting time. I will see you on Tuesday with the update, and then obviously when I unlock Anna and Flik, I will have videos on that too. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.